let's prepare our consciousness for welcoming the new year. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami Niti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine. Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Katha Kamadaya Nagara Grama Tarine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We welcome all of our YouTube live listeners, our listeners over Facebook Live, and all of our listeners over Zoom. Welcoming all of you to this very special session on Meet Your Enhanced Self. So we will be completing a wonderful year of 2020, and we are stepping into 2021 very, very soon. We are now in the process of just welcoming 2021, who's just about to knock on our doors. So let us try to prepare our consciousness in a way that we can make the best use of every moment of 2021 in the service of Guru and Krishna. So with that in mind, we will start today's session. Just imagine if someone says that I will give you $86,400 every day. And there is one condition, that you have to spend all of that money in that one day itself. If you don't spend that, whatever you don't spend, it vanishes. But then next day, again, you will get the same amount of money. And again, the same condition. Whatever you spend is fine. Whatever you don't, it vanishes. So how would we feel about that? Maybe some of us will be like, wow, this is a good deal. Let me start planning how I should spend every dollar, because if I don't spend it wisely, it's just going to go away. So we will spend it so wisely. But do you know, we already have that gift. Something that we did not do to get. It's not $86,400, but we have 86,400 seconds every day. That's 24 hours. That gift of time is there. Whatever we can spend wisely, we get to spend. Anything that we don't spend, it just vanishes. It just gets wasted. But Krishna is so merciful. He gives 86,400 seconds the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, and becomes days, become weeks, weeks become months, months become years. And this is where we are, at the cusp of the ending of 2020 and the beginning of a new year, 2021. There is 86,400 times 365 seconds that we will be awarded, that we'll be given. This is the time. In this session, we will reflect how to best utilize, how to plan to utilize that huge amounts of gift that is going to come into our banks. If we can plan it well, we'll be able to make use of that. But think about it. We have not done anything to get that. Krishna doesn't have to give that much. Some of us may not be fortunate enough to receive that much time. So let's see how we can properly utilize the gift that is going to be given to us and how we can be grateful to Krishna for this wonderful gift. Reciprocate with his charity by making best use of whatever gift we are given.
So this reminds us of a very beautiful story. Once there was a man. He was actually looking for, buying a horse. So he came to, a nice place where they were selling lots of animals. And then he found this man who had a very nice horse. So he went to that man and he said, look, I love your horse. Your horse is so beautiful. Can I buy your horse? He said, yes, 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 you can buy the horse. But my horse is very spiritual. Huh? It's very spiritual. The man said, oh, horses can be also spiritual. How is your horse spiritual? He said, see, I have trained my horse in such a way that it actually responds to only words of God. I said, oh, really? How is that possible? Tell me about it. Very interesting. So then he said, yes, the way you need to, if you want, the horse should start galloping. When you climb the horse, if you say, okay, horse, let's go now, it won't go. And when it's galloping, when it's going, if you tell it to stop, 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 it won't stop. Then he said, Hare Baba, how is this then? How should I make it start and how should I make it stop? I said, see, very simple. I told you. There's a very simple formula. You have to do everything in connection to God. If you want the horse to start galloping, then you have to say, thank God. Then it'll start galloping. It'll start moving ahead. And then what should I say to make it stop? You have to say, God is great. You say God is great, then the horse will stop. Said, oh, very nice. 2 formulas only to remember. Just 2 formulas. One is thank God to make it start, and God is great to make it stop. And then he gave the money to the horsewala and he was very, very happy. And then he got on his horse. He said, see, now I'm going to remember what you told me. I'm not going to forget. See, I will tell you that how to make the horse stop. I know. I have to just say, God is great. See, the horse is stopped. But if I want to make it start, I know what to say also. You'll say, thank God. And then he started galloping. The horse started moving. So then he started going on his journey.
And as he was galloping, as the horse was galloping, the, initially the rider was enjoying the ride. Wow, it's such a nice scenery. Let's just keep galloping. And then suddenly, the horse took speed. And as he was galloping with speed, he said, oh, I don't think I can manage this horse. I need to stop. And he was thinking, what do I say? What do I say to stop? And he forgot. He forgot the mantra to stop the horse. He said, what do I do? What do I do? Hallelujah. And the horse wouldn't start. Then it started saying, Hare Bol, stop, stop. And it wasn't stopping. In fact, its speed was increasing. Suddenly, this rider saw that there is a big slope that is coming, a steep slope that is coming up. It is on the steep of the mountain. And if this horse does not stop, I'm going to go tumbling along with the horse. He got into panic. What should I do? What should I do? What is the mantra? What is the mantra? And because of the panic, he was getting more and more confused. And as the horse came to the edge of the mountain where it was going to go down a deep slope, suddenly this person remembered, the rider remembered, God is great. And the horse stopped right at the cusp. Thank you for the special effects. and and that's when he was right at the edge. He saw behind that There's everything's flat. He saw down. He was gazing down the steep slope. And then the person said, "Thank God."
Uh-oh.
And then the horse started galloping right down. So, what does this particular story teach us? Of course, it teaches us we should remember our mantras. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If we remember the mantras nicely, especially at the time of death, that's our ticket back. At the same time, this also shows that we are creatures of habit. So, can we have the slideshow, please? And in this way, we can actually understand that we are leaving behind 2020 with all its highs and lows and the learnings. And with that, we are galloping towards 2021. So let's see, how do we enhance ourselves? Meet your enhanced self in 2021, version 2.021 in 2021. How can we enhance ourselves? By taking help from above. Next slide, please. So we would like all of us to do an activity. Please write in the comments box, write your highs and lows of 2020.
Highs means something that you love about 2020, that we are leaving behind. So something that was a great high point in our life. Please write it down in the comment box, or you may raise your hand, but we'll be able to take only 2-3 devotees. So we encourage everyone to please write it down in the chat box. What is your high and what is your low of 2020?
One high, one low. That's good enough.
So anyone would like to share? Is there anyone who would like to share? We can please raise your hand over Zoom so we can unmute you. Okay, we are going to now start reading all the comments. Yes, Savita Mataji. We have a hand raised from Savita Mataji. Can we please unmute Savita Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhuji, Dandavats
Hare
Pranams.
Krishna, Dandavats.
Mataji, what I want to tell about highs, I will tell. Lows, I don't have any lows, to be very honest with you. Highs is like, though I am a doctor, I am working in a war zone. I am a soldier in the war zone, but I never felt I am a soldier there, because I never felt I am working in Corona crisis. Because my friends yesterday, they were talking to me, they were telling, so from now onwards, people, if they want to tell their tough times in their life, they tell, my life has become like 2020 year, I don't know how to go about with it. So I was not able to understand what they're trying to convey. Then I asked, what is it? Means this year was so tough, so everyone will quote it as 2020 to explain their tough times. Then immediately thing came in my mind is, to be very honest, 2020 is the happiest year which I have spent in my life, because I came to know that it is a Corona year.
Yeah.
Continuously, we started getting into classes. Zoom classes became so widespread all over. One class after another. We used to start chanting at almost 5 o'clock in the morning, and our class is to get ended by around 8:30 in the evening. In between my working hours, so many things. To be very honest, every single minute, free minute, I have given to Krishna, and Krishna has blessed me so much in the name of Corona. So I give my gratitude to Corona for taking me to the track of Krishna consciousness, and I give my gratitude to all the gurus across the globe. They have really blessed me with the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, and hope your mercy will help me to continue with little bit what I have understood. but it is not a realization, it's just understanding. But still, understanding also, it's a bless. That's what I feel. And if you ask me what is low, in the beginning when corona came, we were so scared to go and work, but still we worked. And that time, to be honest, 1 month we had a little bit of fear. After I became more into classes, that it just disappeared. To be honest, 2020 went like 20 minutes or 20 seconds or maybe a second. When I go through the year 2020, I don't feel I have completed 1 year in my life in presence of Krishna. This is what I wanted to convey, Mataji. And
Thank
you
you.
too, I can't just stay even a single day without your class. I am there in Telegram every now and then. 5 minutes also I'll not waste. I'll be with it, Telegram talks. I'm so
Thank,
grateful to you guys.
thank you.
Hare
Thank
Krishna, Prabhuji and
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
Dandavats
Thank
Pranams.
you. Dandavad. Vrinda Gopika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Sri Radha Gopinath ki jai. Mataji, my keen desire from the last 5 years to enter in Sridham, Vrindavan Dham, Sri Mayapur Dham, Sri Jagannath Puri Dham, and that is fulfilled by Aji Kalaswaya Mataji and Aji Advaitintra Prabhuji. And you every day, like not only me, my Prabhu and my kids are also waiting to enter in Sridham, Vrindavan Dham. So Koti Koti Dandvat Pranam, we all are like it's not a virtual parikrama, but it is live parikrama, Mataji. And everybody is in a depression period. Like my daughter is working in IT field, other one is in a hospital, and my Prabhu also. So that all the frustration is coming in our hands. So that time, how we have to become so patiently behave, give them a Krishna conscious. And they both started four rounds and hearing Krishna Katha. And Mataji, this COVID time, we become little upset, Mataji, because we not get the association of Vaishnava in the temple. And the shankha is and shankha's tune, and the mridangas and harmoniums and kirtans and arti, all that are fulfilled by you and Prabhuji, Mataji. Prabhuji is playing Shridham Vrindavan Dham Vasi mridanga so nicely, and kirtan, my God, Mataji, touch to heart. That is the cream upon the cake, Mataji. After complete the class, Mataji, Koti Koti Danvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. I learned so many lessons, Mataji, to become how to patiently घर में जो वातावरण को हम how patiently we have to behave with our family member to give a Krishna conscious. We are the example to give them a Krishna conscious. But if we lose the temper, then nothing is going on. So this COVID time, we learn so many lessons, Mataji. And our spiritual level is going high and high and high, because we are hearing Krishna Katha from both of you, from Maharaj, from outside senior Vaishnava, from counselor. So it's blissful for me, Mataji. And Hari Bol, Mataji, Koti Koti Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can we temporarily end the slideshow, please?
So that we can even also see everyone. Thank you. Next,
Mother Flavia.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, wow. Look at that backdrop.
Oh, I forgot I have the backdrop. I forgot. Okay. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances to you both. All of the Srila Prabhupada and all the gurus. I wanted to say that really, I started to chat, write it in the chat, but I don't think I finished. I don't have any lows of that are major. Yes, I did lose some people that I know, and I wasn't very close to them, but of course I love them very deeply. But I felt that this was their time to go to another place. And if their life was not good, then they have an opportunity to come back and hopefully learn Krishna consciousness, go back home to Godhead. So that is not really a low. So I don't really have any lows. My highest low is the fact that I was able to have a lot of cleansing experiences. And I spoke with Mataji yesterday about one very strong one, and I'm so grateful that is a very big high for me, that I met you and your sweet Prabhuji, and you're teaching us. And I have learned so much in these short months of taking your classes than I have in the 3 years of practicing Krishna consciousness. And it's not to say anything bad about other devotees. It's just that you are taking such detail to, I don't know, just so detailed. And it's like you can feel the heart. And I'm so grateful. I'm so, so grateful. So I don't have any lows. Everything is high because now it's far for me to go to the temple. So maybe about 45 minutes to an hour. I wouldn't be able to go to the temple every day, but every day somebody is having a live class and I can ask questions, and it's just incredible. And I don't want Corona to continue, but I do want Zoom to continue. I do want this to continue. So I'm saying this is a big, big, big high for me, because maybe that the senior devotees or the ones who are making the decisions will allow people to continue to do this, at least some, maybe not as much, but some, even after the temples are open. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Amrita Radhika. We
Thank
love you
you,
so
thank
much. It was a pleasure speaking to you yesterday.
You helped me so much.
Thank you.
You helped me so much. Please share with your Prabhuji if you have not, because I was in turmoil emotionally and I felt so sad before, but I feel just happy now because I know it was a cleansing experience. And every time I have a low, and for just a few minutes, I think I was like, okay, Krishna, what are you telling me? What are you trying to tell me? And then sometimes I'll see Jagannath's big eyes and I'm like, okay, be happy. This is what I'm supposed to learn from this. And so that's it. Go inside, ask Krishna, what am I supposed to learn? And that's it. It's good.
Very well. Very well. We love you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Thank
you.
And I was overhearing your conversations, and I felt it was very deep. I was very uh, appreciative of your courage to share your heart so openly. And I was also impressed by the way Kalasuda was giving you the guidance and the answers, and I was inspired by that as well.
Kalasuda is so wise.
Yeah.
I get it
Thank you
from
both.
here. I get it from here.
Yes, of course. Any
Yes,
further suggestions, please give to me, please. Anytime.
definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, Radhika. We love you. Hari
Okay.
Bol. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Hare Krishna.
Kirti? Hari Bol, Kirti?
Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, beta, we can hear you now.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Prabhuji,
Hari Bol, beta.
all glory to Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Gauranga. I missed you both so much in the
Miss
past
you too.
days. In 2020, a high for me was, since we were at home, we got to get more closer with Krishna, and I got to chant more rounds because we had more time in this pandemic. And we also got and I also got to listen to your classes and the Rajamanda Parikrama and all those stuff, which made 2020 really fun. And there's not that much of lows, but one of the lows are that we didn't get to go to temple and have in-person darshan and get to associate with the devotees like in person like we used to. Well, that's a low. Other than that, I think 2020 was really nice for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful.
Thank
So
you for
thank you
sharing.
so much, Kirti. Love you, and we missed you too. So thank you. And we are Hari Bol, beta.
So several of you have written about this. The high is Ranjani Gopika Mataji. I got your association. The pandemic was low, attending morning session of Bhakti Mellows. And then right after that, someone says it's definitely a low. but I get that. High is maybe unity in this situation. Now helpful people, yes. Hi, I came to know about ISKCON, your association, all the wonderful sessions. Hi, I made prasadam for Lord Krishna first time, got association of devotees. And low is not able to visit to ISKCON Chennai temple, yes, due to pandemic situation.
So high is more time for spiritual activities due to less commute, low reduced social and in-person interaction with family and friends. Definitely a low. So Kirti is already shared, Flavio shared, Shilpi Mataji, hi, a lot of spiritual association online. Lo, nothing to complain, but missed going to temple on Sunday. Definitely Lo is on no Sunday class in temple. Then Hai's got to know you. Hai's got association with you and learned so much from both of you. Lo is not going to temple.
Okay, we'll continue reading it. Garima, you had raised your hand.
Garima?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Prabhuji,
Hare
that my friend, I'm all share Prabhupada and Gurudev. Like, I missed you so much.
Oh, missed
every
you
day-
too, baby.
Every day I was thinking, okay, is it today? Okay, is it starting today? Or when is it starting? Like,
Oh.
I couldn't wait, like, every day. When there was no class, 8:30, I used to miss that. I wish there was class.
Oh.
It'll start soon. We'll start soon in next year. From January.
When we
11th.
say next year, it's like, oh no, next year.
Yeah.
So far, but it's coming. Just from tomorrow, we're starting. No, but we're not
Next
starting
year.
tomorrow.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, my good thing, my high thing was that today in this year, I spent a lot of time with my Guru Maharaj and I had a lot of fun.
Mhm,
And I went to India
mhm.
also. But my bad thing and sad thing is I can't see my Guru Maharaj anymore. That's the sad and bad thing.
He's in your heart, Bacha. He's in your
Yeah.
heart. Always in your
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
She, Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji, thank you so much for your.
Yeah.
I just want to say that, like Garima mentioned, same thing. For us, for us, the low thing, the worst part of our life is that we cannot serve Guru Maharaj Vapu. So that is the worst part. Yes. Besides that, this year, other way, we are very blessed that we got your association, and Guru Maharaj connected us with you and Prabhu. So we have wonderful association of you both. That is the most highest thing. And we are hearing so much Krishna Katha. I had a deep desire that I want to understand Bhagavad Gita more and more, understanding more and more Chaitanya Charitamrita, and I was not getting time. But due to pandemic, being home throughout the time, avoiding groceries, avoiding even important things, we are able to hear sitting at our own comfort zone, not going out, not driving 1 hour. So that is the best part, that I'm working in the kitchen and still I'm hearing all the Krishna Katha. So that is the best part. Like, we are looking forward for Chaitanya Charitamrita from 11th January. My whole family, actually, everyone is so much. So the best part is that, and then we were able to go to Vrindavan in India. And the best part of the whole year is that we were extremely fortunate, very fortunate to be with Guru Maharaj in his last days. Kids were able to serve him. I was able to serve him at my very minimum amount, but whatever I could do. So my gratitude to the Lord is not enough. It's just not enough, because this was the biggest blessing.
Yes.
So Guru Maharaj told us last year that in next April, I'll come to Atlanta and I'll be with you all. And he said, I'll make it a point I stay at your house.
Oh.
So Garima was crying one day that, but Guru Maharaj was going to come to us in April. And I told her that we were with Guru Maharaj in April.
Yeah, we were in Ujjain with him.
We were in Ujjain.
Hari
So,
Bol.
With him.
Hari Bol.
that was the high for whole life, not for just this,
Yes.
but just high for whole life.
Hari
And the
Bol.
low for whole life is that we miss his physical association. So that's it. But thank you so much for your association. We are learning so much, and because of your inspiration, like I always mention, that you both have opened the gates of hearing for me and especially for Garima. Prabhu also sit down and he hears everything. And it is so wonderful, because in Bhagavatam we read so many shlokas, right? Shrunumatam Svakatha Krishna. So the gates of hearing has opened because of you both, and we get to talk to you live and ask our questions and get your association. So thank you so much. We are very grateful to you.
Thank you, Champaka.
Thank you for all of your association.
Thank you. Hare Varshana Chitra Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji and Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Accept my most humble obeisances, both of you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Shri Guru and Goranga. Mataji and Prabhuji, first of all, in 2020, I am happy to get both of your association. I'm so happy from both of you to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And like Vrinda Gopika Mataji said, we can enter through Mayapur Dham, Sri Vrindavan Dham, because both of you, Mataji and Prabhu, So I'm thankful to both of you, really bottom from my heart. Like all the devotees association, and especially the little Vaishnava and Vaishnavis like Garima and Kirti, they are all so nice, wonderful devotees, and all the devotees who are coming in this group, they are very nice. So I get all those association in 2020. That is my highest. And also one more thing I would like to share. I always think like when Guru Maharaj come to my house, I always wish one day Guru Maharaj come to my house. And in 2020, that my desire fulfilled by a Zoom. Guru Maharaj come to my house, visited, and he saw my deity's darshan, and he gave us a blessing. So that's really, really nice. Only the low part is I could not attend the Sadhu Sangha, I could not attend this Alachwa Kirtan and some of the spiritual gatherings. But otherwise, these all wonderful association from both of you. Guru Maharaj Association is so wonderful in 2020. So thankful to both of you, Mataji and Prabhuji, and please continue to give your association. I really look forward for that, Mataji and Prabhuji. Pranam. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Varshana Chitra Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So can we have the PPT? Thank you all everyone for sharing your realizations. Next slide, please.
Okay, so we see that habits, habits are something that are so easy to form. We don't even realize that when we have a habit, it's so difficult to even realize it, that unconsciously we have developed a few habits because the habit has already gotten to us. So let us see how. Next slide, please.
The habits are formed very, very slowly and subtly. Watch your thoughts, because they become words. Whatever we think, suddenly it comes out in words without our knowing. Then whatever we speak, keep speaking, it'll come out in action. And we keep acting on it again and again, it'll become a habit. Then even unconsciously, we'll start behaving in that way. And then once you get certain habits, those habits form our character. Character is something that we do when no one is watching. When no one is watching, what are we doing? That comes across in our habits. And then that becomes our character. And whatever is our character, eventually that will decide our future. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajante ante kalevaram. Whatever consciousness we have, that is the life that we will reach next. So that becomes our future. So we go from thoughts to words to actions to habits to character to future. So which means whatever we think, it's going to become our future. So we need to be very, very careful about our thoughts. Be very, very conscientious about what we are thinking, how we are thinking, what are we choosing to think, what are we choosing not to think, because then it'll form the future. Next slide, please.
So here it reminds us a story. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this one we'd like you to write down, please. Everyone can write down and share in the chat box some habits that you would like to cultivate. Some habits, like some means let's just do one habit that you would like to cultivate, one habit that you're proud of, and one habit that you would want to give up. So we want to see only three only habits in this category. So please write it down in the chat box. While you're writing,
think about it as glad, sad, and mad. What habit are you glad about? What habit are you sad about? And what habit are you mad about? Something that you want to really give up. Something that you're glad, what you're glad about is what you're proud of. Something that you would like to cultivate is something that you're sad about. And something that you would want to give up is something that you're mad about.
Haribol. So in this connection, as everyone is pouring in their chat, we will also share a wonderful story. So there was once two friends who were going on a boat. And when they were going on the boat, suddenly one of the friends, he just fell into the water. And when he fell into the water, other people on the boat, they started extending their hand and they were saying, give me your hand, give me your hand, and we'll save you. Come, give me your hand. And this man was drowning. Oh, save me, oh, save me, oh, save me. But he's not giving his hand. So then everyone on the ship, they're saying, please give us your hand, give us your hand. But this person is not reacting at all. Then, his friend said, please, everyone, move aside, move aside. And then he came and said, hey, come, take my hand, take my hand. And immediately the drowning man, the friend, he just grabbed hold of the hand and he came out. When he came out, all the people on the ship, they were getting so, worried. They said, we were shouting that, please give us your hand, give us your hand. And when you came and said, take my hand, he immediately came. What is this secret? How did this happen? So then the friend explained. He said, you see, my friend, he's a miser. The word give does not exist in his dictionary. He doesn't even understand the word give. He knows only how to take. So when you all were saying that, please give me your hand, give me your hand, he's not even listening it. It's going above his head. So, but when I came and said, take my hand, he immediately understood and he caught hold of my hand. So this is how habits are ingrained in our lives so much that we are always conditioned by it. We get conditioned by it. Our activities get conditioned by it. So we are very thankful to the devotees who have shared all their waking up early, cultivating, would be to wake up for Mangalarti, wake up early to cultivate. Jealousy, you want to give up little laziness and doing Abhishek and taking care of dearest Gornitai. And I want to give up laziness, cultivate habit of trying to engage in Krishna consciousness. Yes. Thank you all so much.
These are very nice. Now keep these, whether you've shared or not, keep this in mind when we go through this entire presentation. And at the end of it, you will get the solution on how you can cultivate a habit, how you can maintain a habit, and how you can give up the bad habit. Next slide, please. So how do we form habits? Next slide. Here, if you see the habits.
Can we keep pressing next?
Yes. The habits are formed in the mind. And this particular illustration shows us
one more next.
Where is the mind? What is the relationship between the mind, intelligence, soul, and our senses? As you can see, the senses, the horses are the senses. the mind are the reins that are controlling the horses, are supposed to control the horses. The intelligence, the driver, the black, is the intelligence, and the passenger in white is the soul. And this is the understanding. The proper line of control is that the passenger tells the driver where they want to go. The driver controls the reins, which in turn control the horses and directs where it needs to go, where the passenger wants to go. However, imagine if the line of control goes opposite direction. If the horses decide where they want to go, one horse wants to go on the right side, one horse on the left side, different senses are going different ways, and the uh, intelligence is weak, which means the driver is very weak and he's not able to control the reins, which is the mind. What happens to the passenger? He's going for a bumpy ride. And that's what happens to the soul when we are miserable because we are not able to have the proper line of control. It should be the soul giving direction to the intelligence, intelligence controlling the mind controlling the senses. But because it happens the other way, we are not able to control. And this is we are not able to be happy. And this can be controlled if we can control our mind. That's where the habits are. Next slide, please. Yes, the chariot is the body. That's correct.
So now let's see some dialogues between the mind and the intelligence. We can see that the mind actually just feels, and the intelligence is the one who is deciding, is the decision maker. So the mind says, let's go partying.
Oh, but you have exam at 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Well, but all my friends are going to be there enjoying.
Yeah, but you can go to parties after your exam. If you don't fare well, you'll be forced to miss many, many more parties.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, intelligence, I give up. I listen to you.
So this mind intelligence dialogue keeps happening every moment. The mind feels something. Actually, it feels hundreds of things at one moment. And then the intelligence, it directs. No, this is what we need to do. Some of you must be thinking, the mind must be thinking, oh, how long will this lecture go on? It's going on and on and on. When can I have prasadam? The intelligence says, no, sit and listen. This will give you something important for the next entire year. So all of these different mind intelligence dialogue keep happening. Next slide, please. If the mind is stronger, which means the reins are stronger, mind wins, and then fear will grip us because we'll go to party and then come back and suddenly we'll be fearful of, oh my God, exam, what do we do? But if intelligence is stronger, intelligence wins and we are more confident. So if intelligence wins, we have a long-term success. Next slide, please. So one way to overcome the bad habits is this triple E formula: existence, examine, and empower, which means acknowledge the existence of this mind intelligence dialogue. Whenever your mind and intelligence are debating, the soul, which is us, are just an observer. If we can just detach ourselves from this mind intelligence dialogue and empower the intelligence, then we can actually come up to be a winner. Sometimes we think, well, whatever my mind is feeling, that's me. Because of the bodily concept, we think I am the mind. And so whatever I'm feeling, that's right. I need to do it. But if we understand I am different from the mind and I'm different from the intelligence, I'm just the observer. And then we keep empowering the intelligence to control the mind. Through our thoughts, we control our feelings. Examine these dialogues and then make sure that the intelligence wins. Krishna says, when we read Bhagavad Gita, we are worshipping Krishna by our intelligence. So this is one way that we can overcome the bad habits. Sometimes it also helps if we delay that bad habit. For example, if we are not able to wake up early in the morning when the alarm rings, we're saying, let me just sleep, let me just sleep. What if we say, I'll sleep later? Instead of telling the mind, no, don't sleep. No, don't do this at all. Don't do this bad habit at all. Can we say, do this later? Just delay it. This is something which Srila Haridas Thakur, he implemented. When Maya Devi came and told him that I please enjoy with me, Haridas Thakur did not say no. Haridas Thakur said, please wait. Wait for some time. I will. Let me finish my rounds. Because Maya at every moment, it comes and says to the devotees especially, Maya will come and say, you know what? You have you can give your whole life to Krishna. You can give your all the years and the entire 2021 you can give to Krishna. Just I'm asking for one moment, this one moment and this moment you give to me. That's all. And see how it works. And after that, you can surrender to Krishna. And devotees, we feel, yeah, well, that's a good thing. That's a good proposal. I mean, I'll just, one moment is fine, and then she'd stop troubling me. So we give that one moment to Maya, whatever it may be, the anarthas in our mind of lust, anger, pride, greed, or laziness. We give into that. We just say, one more moment. Yes, I'll give to Maya. And rest, anyways, I will get up and chant, and I will surrender to Krishna. Then that one moment we'll give to Maya, Maya says, after that one moment, she says, look, did anything happen? It's not like you fell down or something like that. Everything's good. Give me one more moment, just one moment. And then you can give your whole life to Krishna, no problem. Give your whole life. One moment, give to me, this one moment. And then we say, yeah, I mean, nothing happened. I mean, people say, Maya, this, that, it's not a big deal. And then we give that moment also. Then moment by moment by moment, suddenly we realize our whole life has gone by, and we are just in our mind thinking, yes, we will surrender to Krishna, we will surrender to Krishna, because all we have is this one moment. We don't have the future surrender.
So then what does an intelligent devotee, a surrendered devotee, a sincere devotee of Krishna, when Maya gives this proposal, what does a sincere devotee give a counter proposal to Maya? The devotee says, my dear Maya, this one moment let me give to Krishna. Then my whole life I will give to you. That is the counter proposal. Then when Maya comes the next moment, again you say, one more moment, Maya, let me give this one more moment to Krishna, and then I will come to you. This is exactly what Srila Haridas Thakur did. When Maya Devi personified came to Haridas Thakur, and she said, please come enjoy with me. Haridas Thakur said, my dear Maya Devi, I have to just finish my japa. Can I finish my japa? And then I will enjoy with you. You please sit down. I promise you, I will enjoy with you. She sat down and she was listening. And then by that time, the entire night passed. And then she left. Next night, she again came back. Haridas Thakur, you had promised me. He said, yes, yes, today also I'm promising you. I will give you. But first, let me finish my japa. Let me finish my japa, you sit and listen. Like this, 3-4 nights went by. And then finally, she got purified by listening to the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the potency of a sincere devotee. That they can win over the proposal of Maya by empowering our intelligence, by choosing spirituality, by choosing Krishna every time, every moment. We choose Krishna over Maya, and that is called that moment by moment we choose to surrender to Krishna.
Next slide, please. All right, we'd like a volunteer to read this particular text?
Can we have a raise of hand? Anyone who can read this aloud, can we please have a raise of hand? Vinita Mataji, yes. Vinita Mataji, yes. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
I tried, okay? I could believe that I could actually understand what I was reading. The phenomenal power of the human mind. According to a research at Cambridge University, it doesn't matter in what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and last letter should be in the right place. The rest can be a total mess and you can still read it without a problem. This is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. Amazing, huh? Yeah, and I always thought spelling was important.
Haribo,
Wow,
fantastic.
you read it without any problems. So great. So what do we
Thank
understand by this in regarding the habits forming nature of the mind?
So this teaches us that whether, see, our mind goes based on, images. We don't so much, like, see, could not. Is that any way, in any way saying could not? But still, when we read an entire statement, a sentence, we read it as a whole. So this is how our mind is actually conditioned. We are conditioned in this way that we can, the human mind, the nature is, there to help us to read this, even though the spelling can be a total mess. This is an actual study done at Cambridge University. Next slide, please.
Next slide. Yes. So how can we change this conditioning that we are conditioned by changing scripts that are written in our minds? Thank you, Bhakti Priya, for your comments on. Yes, we have to be conditioned. This shows that our mind says you cannot do it, but actually we can. Next slide, please. So how do we change these scripts that are written in our minds? How do we form these different habits? Just remember, how did we learn to swim or learn a bike? When we were trying to learn to swim, initially it was very difficult, but we kept doing it. Something happened, and suddenly we were floating.
Sometimes even tongue twisters. She sells seashells on a seashore. Say it fast. She sells seashells on a seashore. She sells seashells on a seashore. Betty bought some butter, but the butter was bitter. So she bought some better butter to make the bitter butter better. That's a tongue twister. Or you can say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Not, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Not like that. But this is actually a tongue twister for many, because the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if it is not pronounced properly, then it becomes the other way. So, this is a tongue twister, definitely. So these are the things that we are forming different kinds of habits.
Yes, Bhakti Priya, you can say one tongue twister.
You can unmute yourself, Bhakti Priya. Yes.
Thank you, Mataji. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked it. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
Wow.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bhakti Priya.
I'm sure when you first started learning it, it was very difficult. You had to do it once,
Yes.
slowly, then it became faster and faster and faster, and suddenly you formed a habit of the tongue
Yes,
twister.
Prabhu.
Yes.
Next slide, please. Thank you, Bhakti Priya.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hari bol. Next slide, please.
So these are the 4 stages to form habits. In order to form good habits and also bad habits, these are the stages that we go through. First, there is unconscious incompetence. which means we don't know how to do it. We are unconscious about it, and there is no, we are incompetent. We cannot do it. Then it becomes conscious incompetence, which means we are aware that, hey, I cannot do this. Initially, we think, yeah, it's okay, but then we think, I cannot do this. Then it becomes conscious competence. Then slowly, steadily, we have to focus our mind on what we are doing consciously, and then we develop that competence. And then later, we don't even have to focus our mind, and suddenly we are able to say these tongue twisters. We get unconscious competence. Next slide, please. For example, when we are trying to learn how to ride a bike. Next slide, please. That's initial stages, unconscious incompetence. The child doesn't know how to ride a bike. He also cannot ride. Next slide, please. The next stage goes to conscious incompetence. The child is aware, yes, I want to ride a bike, but he actually cannot because it's incompetent. Next slide, please. Then stage 3 is conscious competence. Now to ride a bike, the person has to concentrate really hard. And then with conscious thought and effort, the child can ride. But as soon as his mind goes away, boom, he falls down. Then again he gets up. And again he keeps focusing. That's conscious competence. Next slide, please. And then eventually a time comes where he doesn't have to even think. He can keep thinking whatever else in his mind, and he can keep riding. And then he can maybe wave to others while riding. He can leave both his hands. That's unconscious competence. These are the 4 stages that we go through while forming any habit. Some people say that if you do something for 21 days, that sticks with you, that you can, it takes us 21 days to go from conscious competence, unconscious incompetence to unconscious competence. One time there was a soccer team. The soccer team was, football in India, they say. In US, they call it soccer. The soccer team had was actually winning all the competitions. Next day was the finals, and their goalkeeper got injured. And the captain and the vice captain were thinking, what to do, what to do. The goalkeeper, he cannot be there tomorrow. Who can be our goalkeeper? We don't have anyone else to replace him. We need everyone else in their positions. So the captain, vice captain in the evening, they were going to this flea market and farmers market. And that's where some of the farmers, they were making their stalls. So there was a huge truck. This truck was full of watermelons. And there was a watermelon vendor. And one of the persons in the truck was lifting the watermelon and throwing it to the person who was standing on the stall. And this person on the stall was catching it and throwing it back where, to collect it in a place where they can then put it on in the stall. So this person from the truck was throwing the watermelon. This person was catching the watermelon and just throwing it back onto the stall. And it kept happening. And this particular captain and vice captain were watching this. And they saw this competence, unconscious competence of this particular watermelon seller, how he was catching all of these watermelons and putting them back. And so they said, we found our goalkeeper. And so they went to this vendor and they said, can you please be our goalkeeper tomorrow? We'll pay you whatever you want. This person said, all right, anyways, I have to come here in the evening. In the daytime, I can be your goalkeeper. So then next day, he was standing as the goalkeeper and the soccer match began. The person from the other team, he got the ball. He was coming closer and closer to the goal. And then this person hit the ball. It was approaching the goal. And our watermelon seller, who was the goalkeeper, he dived to catch the ball. And he, just in the nick of time, he saved the goal by catching the ball. And then he threw it inside the goal. Because that's what he was habituated to catch the watermelon, throw it back. catch the watermelon, throw it back. And here also, unconscious competence. He caught the ball and he threw it into the goal. So this shows us the power of habits. Once we catch any habit, good or bad, it stays. Next slide, please. So how do we change the habits? One thing we should remember, mind cannot tell the difference between real experience and imagined experience. So if we just close our eyes and imagine what we want to be, imagine ourselves in a situation. For example, if we want to wake up in the morning, in the night, we actually imagine, visualize that, yes, the alarm is ringing and I'm waking up very excited. Yes, I close the alarm, I get out of bed, and my goal is that just for 2 minutes, I will enter the bathroom and brush my teeth. That's it. That's my goal, is wake up, enter the bathroom and just brush my teeth. After that, then whatever, and wash my face. After that, if I still feel gloomy or something, I will come back and sleep. If we can just put small goal in our mind, if we tell the mind, no, get up, you have to get up, you have to brush your teeth, you have to take bath, then go down and have Mangalarti and do all these things. That's my goal. The mind has already lost it. The mind, we can keep imagining whatever we want. The mind has already decided, I am not going to do all these things. But if we just tell the mind, give it very simple task, just like when chanting in the japa workshop, we said, simple task. Give the mind, focus on one mantra. Don't try to focus on all the rounds. Focus on one mantra. Which mantra? This mantra. This holy name that you're chanting. Focus on that. Give the time, give the mind a simple task. Wake up, 2 minutes, enter the bathroom, wash your face, brush your teeth, decide after that. Because by then, chances are that you would already be fresh and you would be out of the laziness, just 1 or 2 minutes. And then you can decide to take bath and go do Mangalarti. Or it's okay if you feel too gloomy, you had only 2-3 hours of sleep, you decide to come back and sleep, fine. But next day, again, give the mind that simple goal. Don't make the mind big goals. And then again, next day when you wake up, at least brush your teeth and wash your face. You'll see most of the times after that, the mind itself will say, yeah, let's take a bath. Now I'm fresh. I can't go back to sleep now. That 2 minutes makes the whole difference. Sometimes for some people, just 1 minute makes a difference. Just getting up from the bed makes a whole difference. So if we can just imagine ourselves, alarm is ringing, I'm waking up and I'm getting out of the bed, brushing my teeth, washing my face, mind feels that it has already happened because it cannot differentiate between real and imagined experience. Next slide, please.
So now we will understand a formula that can help us in this coming new year. You see, we need to understand a basic principle that habits cannot be removed, but they can be replaced. Cultivating a higher taste by connecting to a higher power or higher consciousness. So this way we can understand that habits can, it is a substitution method. It is not about, it's not about getting rid of things immediately. Next slide, please. So how do we do this? How do we replace our habits? Say, for example, our bad habit is that we keep speaking ill of others. So replace it by saying good things about others. And what will this give us? When we start speaking good about others, we will actually feel good in our own heart. We will feel that, people are appreciating us. We will become more popular and we will develop a distaste for backbiting. Because, speaking ill of others it actually deep down in our heart, it doesn't satisfy us. It doesn't, gel well with us. This is something that we need to understand. Next slide, please. Then we see another bad habit is borrowing things all the time. Oh, I don't have this. Do you have it? I don't have this. Do you have this? Some people have this habit of borrowing things. So we can replace it by lending once in a while. Let's not be a miser. Let's start not just taking, but even giving, and then this will see, we will get a higher taste about the joy of sharing. We will start feeling the love when we are giving things to others, that how happy it makes them feel. Their happiness will become our happiness too. Next slide, please. So the formula is replace and not repress. We need to replace our habits, our bad habits, with good ones. Because you see, we are conditioned. We all know the story. There's a very famous story about this Panchatantra stories from, that we all grew up with, like a fairy tale kind of story, that there was once a fox. The fox, it's there's even a proverb in English that says, as cunning as a fox. Foxes are very cunning. So this fox, he came once to the outskirts of a jungle, and there was a big house there, and they had a huge water sitting in a big tub which was filled with blue dye, because they had to dye some clothes. So then this fox, he thought that it was something to drink, and somehow he just jumped into this entire big pot of water, and then when he came out, he was all blue. He became all blue, and then he came back into the jungle. And then when he was walking into the jungle, all the elephants are looking at him, the snakes, the huge cobras are looking at him, the lions, the tigers, everyone is looking at this wonderful creature, this weird creature. And then this cunning fox, he's thinking that, oh, now people are giving me attention. This is the attention that I was seeking all my life. So he says, yes, because the elephant comes and asks, my dear fox, my dear sir, who are you? He said, well, I am the blue god. I am the king. I've been sent here to be the king. So then everyone, all the forest animals, they accept that he is the king, and they coronate him to be the king of the forest. But then, when the other foxes come, then in the evening, it was a full moon night. What happens to foxes and wolves when they see the full moon? They start howling. So when the foxes started howling, the other foxes started howling. Then this fox also started howling, because that's what fox in a pack do. They follow what their other pack members are doing. So when this fox started howling, all the animals, they said, "Hare, this is not any kind of a king or anything. This is just a cheating blue fox." So this is how conditioning we are, how conditioned we are, that we have a tendency to cheat others. We have a tendency to take advantage of others. And these kind of conditioning is what we have to get rid of. We have to, replace these kind of tendencies, our negativities, with pure spiritual positivities.
Next slide, please. So how do we replace negativities with the positivities? How do we change the scripts, the conditioning in our mind? The scripts in our mind, sorry, the conditionings, they come from the kind of books we read, kind of movies we see, kind of music we listen to, the kind of friends that we have. Ultimately, we are who we associate with. Whoever we are associating with, that's where we get our scripts from. Karanam gunasangasya. The cause of this is gunasanga, association with different modes. Next slide, please. So all we need to do,
next slide, please.
All we need to do is to replace those scripts. And how can we replace those scripts? By visualizations and by prayer, by praying. Next slide, please.
So this is one of the meaningful prayers, that please, my dear Lord, give me the courage to change the things which can and ought to be changed, the serenity to accept things which cannot be changed, and the wisdom to know the difference. This is a meaningful and a simple prayer where we are teaching, we are learning our dependence on Krishna. We are learning to be mindful of the changes in our life, to be grateful for Krishna.
And sometimes when we are perplexed as to why am I going through this situation, then we pray to Krishna, please tell me how I can be grateful for this situation. Please guide me. What should I do? Why is this coming upon me? What is some good thing? Give me the understanding what good is coming out of this situation. And eventually, Krishna will answer the prayers. Next slide, please.
And this is the universal script that can help replace all the scripts that are there in our mind. The mind is filled with impressions not only from this life, but from millions and millions of past eternal lives that we have been going through. So all those scripts can be immediately washed away, can immediately be replaced by this one universal script, which is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Can we end the slideshow, please? So now let's try to have the visualization and prayer and meditate on the Sankirtan mission of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu as we are going towards welcoming the new year. So now we will have a meditation, a guided meditation into the particular Sankirtan pastime.
So we'll first do a visualization like we have just seen in theory, and then we will go to the prayer, which is the universal chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which will be a perfect way to say goodbye to 2020 and to welcome 2021. So the visualization that we want to bless ourselves with is that we request all of you to please close your eyes. Please close your eyes and just follow the words that I'm trying to give you a vision of. So we are all standing in together with each other. We are all holding hands with each other in this new wonderful family. And in front of us, we actually don't see anything. It is a little dark. We don't see anything. But suddenly, a little light is illuminating on the further side. And suddenly, we see that a wonderful personality is coming walking towards us. He has a cane, a walking stick in his hand. He's wearing cloth shoes. He's wearing sannyasi clothes, saffron color clothes, orange color clothes. In his left hand, he is holding a walking stick. And in his right hand, his hand is inserted into his japamala. And he's chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. A beautiful garland of flowers is adorning his beautiful, entire chest. It's coming down to his knees. And when we look up at the lotus face, we immediately know in our hearts that it is Srila Prabhupada, who is brightly smiling at us and lovingly casting his glance, merciful glance upon all of us. Srila Prabhupada comes. He takes his hand out of his bead bag and he points out to the direction like this. And as soon as Srila Prabhupada points to this direction, what do we see? We see that now the lights further illuminated and two dancing lords have appeared. They are none other than Sri Sri Gauranga and Nityananda. Lord Nityananda, so beautiful, so elegant. Both the lords, they look like huge mountains of gold. They're so bright. Lord Nityananda, his complexion is like molten gold mixed with red. He has a complexion that is like coppery kind of effulgence is coming out. So therefore we feel that it is, gold mixed with red. That is the complexion of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda's lotus feet is adorned with beautiful ankle bells, rings, toe rings, which have blue sapphires on them. Lord Nityananda is wearing a beautiful blue color silk dhoti. And he has a pink sash, a satin sash that is nicely tied up on his waist. His chest is as broad as a lion's chest, very, very broad. But his waist is as thin as the lion's waist. Very beautiful. The pink navel, lotus navel of Lord Nityananda is glowing. Lord Nityananda is wearing beautiful pearl necklaces, and a wonderful garland made with champaka flowers is swaying to and fro when Lord Nityananda is dancing with his hands raised high. Lord Nityananda has his right hand down and his left hand raised up. And when Lord Nityananda is dancing, it looks so beautiful. Lord Nityananda's beautiful lotus face, his eyes are emanating tears of ecstasy. Lord Nityananda's beautiful, beautiful eyes are just intoxicated in pure love of God. Let us now try to envision Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so beautiful. His pink, reddish lotus feet is adorned with alta. Beautiful ankle belts adorn his lotus feet. Toe rings, which are red rubies as the stone, adorn his lotus toes. They look so gorgeous. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is wearing yellow silken garments. And he has another pink satin sash that is tightly wrapped around his waist, giving a very beautiful form to his elegant golden body. Lord Chaitanya's complexion is like molten gold. And he's also wearing a beautiful forest flower garland, which is made with kadamba flowers, champaka flowers, and tulasi manjaris. And Lord Chaitanya, he's wearing beautiful ornaments, beautiful armlets, bracelets, rings all over his fingers. And Lord Chaitanya is dancing with his left hand raised up and his right hand down. Lord Chaitanya is dancing. When he is dancing, the flower garland is swinging to and fro so beautifully. And when we look up at the lotus face, the moonlight face of Lord Chaitanya too is crying tears of ecstasy. His lotus eyes are intoxicated with love, and with so much of love, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are casting their merciful glance upon us. And then they point out to the divine couple who are sitting over on the beautiful banks of the Jamuna, of the river Jamuna, the beautifully decorated forest grove. The divine couple Shri Shri Radha Krishna are sitting down. Shri Krishna is dressed in yellow silk dhoti. Krishna has his left leg over his right knee, and he's holding on holding his hand. He's putting both his hands over his left leg, holding it. And he is smiling so beautifully, adorned with beautiful Vaijayanti garland. And Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is wearing a blue silken sari with gold and red flowers all over it. She is also adorned with a Swarna Champa garland. And she is wearing beautiful flower ornaments all over her beautiful body. And she is resting her head on the left shoulder of Krishna. Like this, both the divine couple are sitting down. They're enjoying the beautiful dancing of Sri Sri Gauranga and Nityananda. And seeing this, Srila Prabhupada, he is encouraging all of us to also dance in ecstasy. And now we will start chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and we will also dance in great ecstasy while we are praying to the Lordships to please allow us to experience the beauty and the nectar in the chanting of the holy names. Allow us to relish that. This is our humble appeal, so that we can realize that Krishna is actually dancing on our tongue when we are singing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So now let us all sing very, very sincerely, very beautifully, calling for the mercy of the Lord. Without the mercy of the Lord, we just don't survive. So giving our utmost dependence to Krishna, let us all sing together the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Everyone together, loudly please, welcoming the new year. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gurudev ki Jai. Thank you all very much. We can open the line for any questions or comments. Welcoming the new year. It's few hours for India and half a day for US, but this seemed to be the best time for everyone to join. Welcoming the new year from across the world. And there are so many wonderful New Year sessions that are online, that are going on all over ISKCON. And we wanted to give everyone a chance to attend that as well. We can open the lines for any questions or comments. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. I have a question about mind.
Yes.
That, like in Bhagavad Gita Sankhya Yoga, one place I, with my limited knowledge, I understood a little bit that mind also does not belong to us. But my confusion is when we have a subtle body, mind, intelligence, false ego, and soul that travels together from one destination to other. So isn't it mind belonging to us? And like in today's discussion also, we are understanding that mind has so many consciousness from so many different past lives also. So I am a little confused about this mind, Prabhu and Mataji.
So mind, your question is mind belongs to us. And
is mind ours? Like, okay, this body is not ours, right? We are not this body. The
yes.
body is a gross body, is going to go. But we carry all these conceptions from so many past lives.
Correct. Correct.
So does mind belong to us? And does it really affects our sadhana and overall overall life?
Yes. So the mind belongs to us, is under our care, but we are not the mind. Just like this phone belongs to us, but we are not the phone. Similarly, so we are separate from the phone. Similarly, the mind belongs to us. This is our mind. The impressions, the material impressions that we have had over several lifetimes, those are stored in the mind. Mind is the storage of all those impressions. Whether we make, if I just move my head from here to there, I have captured so many images which I may not consciously be aware of, but those impressions are just stored in the mind. And then it comes out in the night or in the dreams, or it's stored. It also helps. It also triggers our reactions sometimes. And we're like, why am I behaving this way? It's because of these impressions which are stored in. So it's very important what we expose our minds to, what kind of thoughts, what kind of movies, what kind of books, what kind of friends. All of this affect the impressions in the mind. And then those impressions give rise to thoughts, feelings, desires, stuff like that. So yes, the mind belongs to us, but we are not the mind. We are separate from the mind. The soul is separate from the mind. But the soul sees everything through the mind. And that's why the soul gets affected. Because if the light is white, the sunlight is white light, it comes through. But if it comes through a white blue glass, everything, the light becomes blue. If it goes through a red glass, it becomes red. Green glass, it becomes green. But before the glass, it's all sunlight, ultimately. Similarly, the soul is pure. It has Krishna conscious desires. But when it sees through the mirror of the mind, then depending on what color the mind is, and it's multicolored, when it comes the other side, our Krishna conscious desires are interpreted by the impressions, material impressions in the mind. So when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we are clearing the mind, we are cleaning the mind, and those multiple colors are removed, and now it's clean glass. Once it's clean glass, then the white light comes through and the white light sunlight comes out. We see, and so which means the desire, when the soul sees through a clean mind, then the pure desires of the soul are reflected outside as well. So the process of chanting Hare Krishna is to cleaning the mind so that the pure desires of the soul, when they are reflected through this mirror of the mind, they don't come across as perverted, which means we have a desire to love Krishna. But when it comes to the impressions of the mind, that desire to love Krishna gets transformed into desire to love something material, maybe love our phone or love some matter, love the body of our children, love the body of our friends and relatives and things like that. But ultimately, or we want to see Krishna dancing. That's the desire of the soul. Krishna dancing on the hoots of the Kaliya and glorifying Krishna, everyone cheering. That's the true desire of the soul. But when it comes through the impressions of the mind, we start glorifying the rock stars who are dancing on the stage. It's that same desire originally, but it's reflected through the impressions in this way. But once it's clean, we have no attachment, we have no taste for seeing a rock star dancing or someone else dancing. We want to see Krishna dancing.
Okay, Prabhu, I understand. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you for the wonderful question. Haribol. Rasika?
Hare Krishna. Dandvat
Haribol.
Pranam Prabhuji and Mataji. Wish you both a blissful Krishna conscious 2021 in advance.
Yes, wish you all a very happy Krishna conscious 2021.
Yeah, really, it was really a blissful end to 2020, with your session, wonderful session. I really liked it. How to control the mind and the habits, how they affect us and how we can change our habits was really very informative, very much I've learned from this session. Always I've learned from you a lot. So I'm always indebted to you both so much. And because of the 2020 was because of this pandemic, but still we had this opportunity to have your association and go through all the yatras virtually, but it was a real life experience. It was so wonderful, so beautiful. Thank you both. And the meditation part of today's was so blissful. And thank you for taking us, and thank you for taking us to this beautiful, or showing us a beautiful form of Radha and Krishna in the meditation. And my heart was actually rejoicing. The kirtan, as actually dancing. Actually, I was dancing in my room.
Haribol.
It was so blissful, slow blissful. I didn't wish that it should stop. So with these memories, fond memories of 2020, I want to continue in the 2021 also in your loving association. Please accept my Danvat Pranams at your lotus feet once again. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my dearest Behna. Thank you, Rasika. Love you. Thank you.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we can end here. Wish you all again.
I just wanted to say thank you again and have a happy Krishna conscious 2021. And I'm very grateful for all of your association and everything that you're doing and that you will continue to do. So I'm very grateful and thank you to you and all the assembled devotees for the association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Amrita Radhika. Thank you.
We are
Hare
so
Krishna.
grateful to be in all of your association. The feeling is likewise. This was the high and low was the same. Corona was the low, but also it was the high because we got all of your association, and you are accepting our service. We are very, very thankful to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Love
Hare
you.
Krishna,
Thank
Mataji and Prabhuji, Koti Koti
you.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Behalf of
Krishna.
all Vaishnava, you take us in a dham, Shridham Vrindavan Dham, Sisi Mayapur Dham, Sisi Jagannath Puri Dham. Mataji, thanks is very small words, but prayers is coming from heart that 1 million Vaishnava will attend your yatra, and we are qualified to enter in Shridham Vrindavan Dham with you and Prabhuji this year. 1 month parikrama. Please pray for all Vaishnava. Hare Krishna.
हरी वो आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji, Dandavats Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada,
much.
Jai Srila Gurudev.
Hare
Mataji, from
Krishna.
today's class, one thing, it was so impressive. You told to tell, wait a while for Maya, no? To be honest, I was chanting for group chanting from Mayapur. That time I was telling Maya, one second, Maya, I'm with Krishna, please, 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 please. It was so blissful for me, and it was so wonderful, Then I thought I should share this with Mataji and Prabhuji.
Hare
All
wo.
glories to Guru and Gauranga. Dandavats Pranam, Prabhuji and
Dhanyavad.
Mataji.
Thank
We will let go 2020 happily, and we'll welcome 2021,
Yes.
thinking that it will be blissful and with little more realization in Krishna consciousness with your guidance and
Hare
Guru's and Gauranga's mercy. Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Jai Srila
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Our
Thank you.
gratitude to Prabhupada ji for creating our Vaishnava family. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. I give my gratitude to all the members who gave me the association, all devotees of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Gurudev.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Dandavats Pranam, Prabhuji and Mataji.
So, Vinita Mataji, you have raised your hand. Please come.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Actually, I'm her daughter, Karishma. Yeah.
Hare
I
Krishna.
have a question.
Yeah.
Uh, so we spoke about habits today, like how to, replace our not so good habits with better habits.
Mm-hmm.
But supposingly, like I may have a habit, or I may have had habit of eating meat, and through some conscious lectures or scriptures, I've come overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, currently, probably I'm not eating meat, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when I leave this body and go to the next body, which habit will I carry, or will it be a new habit? Like, do we carry habits from one body to the other body?
Well, you know, we do sometimes when we don't give up those habits, we do carry such, impressions of those habits. It may not be the habit directly, but it may be the
Mm-hmm.
impressions that we are carrying forward. Like when we all passed through the life of being a pig, and there we have
Mm-hmm.
learned to distinguish between wet stool and dry stool. Dry stool is not so tasty. Yuck. But wet stool, so nice, so tasty. That's what we were enjoying when we were in the bodies of a pig. But then that's the impression that we carry in our. You see, I'm giving you. Please forgive me for giving such a graphic example.
Yeah.
But these are the kinds of impressions that are there in our minds. These are like the scripts that we were talking about. These are the scripts that are there from different lifetimes, from different life forms, and therefore, when we come to the human form of life, we have
Mm-hmm.
the continuation of such impressions, little bit of impressions from here and there, here and there, here and there, good, bad, dirty, ugly, all that is going to be there. But now we have a choice as the human beings. In the body of a
Mm-hmm.
pig or the body of any other animal, there's no choice. Only human beings are awarded the gift of choice. The animals don't have choice. The human beings are awarded the gift of choice where we can choose that no, no, no. Doing these ugly, dirty, crazy things don't befit a human being. So therefore, we can go and move to higher kinds of, realities and create higher impressions. So then from this body, and of course in this body, as the human being, if we are cultivating our spirituality, somehow
Mhm.
engaging in chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, then there is, you're going in for the universal script, right? The Mahamantra is the universal script.
Mhm.
And when we are doing the universal script, it kind of washes away all the previous scripts, all the good, ugly, bad, dirty, everything is gone. Even the good is gone. Because now we
Okay.
are getting something very spiritual. So this
Right.
is how the impressions are carried forward.
And sometimes we see that there are some child prodigies, 3 year old, and they can play a piano so nicely. And so many different talents different people have. How do these talents come in a newborn baby? I mean, these are just 2, 3 year old, and they are able to do all these wonderful things. That's because it's a continuation from the previous life, maybe some kind of desire that may be there. Uh,
Mm.
at the same time, we have phobias, right? Some people have height phobia, some people have water phobia. That how did that come about? Why is the mind so afraid of these things? It's
Mhm.
because of our impressions in the previous life or experiences in previous life about that.
Mhm.
So hope this
Okay.
answers your question, Beta.
Yes. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. We thank all the devotees for their wonderful comments. Thank you all so much. Pushpapriya Madhavi, thank you for your beautiful comments. Anyone else want to share anything else? If not, we have an announcement that we will be starting on demand by the devotees. We are going to be starting a Hindi session in the language Hindi. We will be starting a session starting from the new year, starting from next week, 1 day a week. We are still deciding which day it will be. But it will be called the Bhakti Rasamrita group. So we will be sending out a link in the Bhakti Mellows, in all the groups, in all the 5 groups. You will receive this link to join the Hindi group. Um, so the Hindi, we request devotees, if you want to have the Hindi group also, please don't leave the Bhakti Mellows group, because the Bhakti Mellows group will continue with the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So please remember that. So don't leave any group. But if you want to additionally, join the Hindi group, and if you understand the Hindi language, we will be doing different sessions in the Hindi language. Which in the next 2-3 days we will send out the information. So
And we'll start with once a week Hindi session, and then 4 days a week would be the English session with Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is coming up, and then more sessions after that. And in Hindi session, it'll be once a week. We'll start with, we'll see how it goes, and then go forward from there. We're thinking of doing a summary of Srimad Bhagavatam in Hindi to begin with, but we'll send out a survey as well and go from there.
so we look forward to seeing all of you in that Hindi group as well. But again, please be there with us in the Bhakti Mellows journey as well. So Bhakti Mellows is translated into Hindi as
Bhakti Rasa.
Bhakti Rasa, Bhakti Rasamrita. We are deciding on the name too. So please join us, and we look forward to seeing you, all of you again. Wishing all of you a very, very happy Krishna conscious New Year. Hare
Vancha
Krishna.
kalpatarubhyascha
Kripa
kripa
sindhu
sindhubhya
evacha.
eva
Kasindhu evacha
patitaha
patitanam pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo namo namaha. Thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Happy New Year,
Pavanebhayo
Mataji.
Hare
Vaishnavebhayo
Krishna.
namo
Thank you,
namaha.
Thank you
Mataji.
so
Happy
much,
New Year.
Mataji and Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Jai.
And Mataji, Dandavat
Hare
Happy
Pranam.
New Year.
Hare
Hare
Dear
Krishna,
Krishna.
has
Mataji.
gone.
Hare
Happy,
Krishna.
happy New
Hare
Year.
Krishna,
Thank
Mataji and
you.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Happy New Year.
Thank you so much, Mataji and Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.